I have always believed, as Napoleon Hill wrote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. From the earliest days of my life, I sensed a stirring deep within me, a burning desire that refused to be ignored. Desire, Hill explained, is the starting point of all achievement. It is not a mere wish. It is a pulsating, consuming force that drives action, fuels persistence, and ignites imagination. I realized that if I wanted to rise above mediocrity, I had to convert that desire into a definite purpose. Hill advised, a definite purpose backed by burning desire is the starting point of all achievement. I spent countless nights reflecting, journaling, and envisioning what I truly wanted. Success without a clear goal is like a ship adrift in the ocean. I chose my purpose with precision, committing to it fully, embracing it as my singular aim, and allowing it to shape every decision, every thought, every action. Faith became my anchor. Hill wrote, "Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science." I knew that belief in myself and my purpose would attract the circumstances, opportunities, and resources I needed. Faith is not hope, it is certainty. Faith fuels action, empowers persistence, and transforms desire into tangible results. I disciplined my mind as Hill taught. Keep your mind fixed on what you want, not on what you don't want. Negative thoughts are insidious, capable of destroying ambition before it begins. I trained myself to reject doubt, fear, and discouragement, replacing them with thoughts of success, opportunity, and limitless possibility. I repeated affirmations, visualized outcomes, and convinced myself that I was capable of extraordinary achievement. Knowledge became my ally. Hill wrote, "Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end." I devoured books, sought mentors, and absorbed the wisdom of those who had succeeded before me. But I understood that knowledge alone is useless unless it is acted upon. I translated learning into strategy, strategy into action, and action into measurable results. Imagination guided me. Hill emphasized, ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Every challenge presented an opportunity for creative problem solving. I visualized solutions, imagined success, and believed that obstacles were not barriers but opportunities. Imagination is the laboratory of the mind, where ideas are conceived, tested, and transformed into reality. I learned the value of alliances. Hill wrote, "No two minds ever come together without creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind." I sought collaborators who shared my vision, whose knowledge and energy complemented my own. Through the mastermind principle, I discovered that collective intelligence magnifies individual effort, transforming ordinary plans into extraordinary achievements. Persistence became my hallmark. Hill stated, "Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel." Every setback, every failure, every obstacle was a test of my resolve. I refused to quit. I understood that most people give up at the moment just before success arrives. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is intelligent, sustained effort in the face of adversity. Self-discipline became my constant companion. Hill wrote, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. Control your mind and you control your destiny." I resisted distractions, focused relentlessly on my definite purpose, and acted consistently in alignment with my goals. Discipline bridges the gap between desire and accomplishment, transforming intention into results. I harnessed the power of the subconscious mind. Hill emphasized, "The subconscious mind will translate into its physical equivalent by the most direct and practical method available, whatever thoughts are held in the mind and mixed with emotion." Every night, I visualized my success as real, engaging my emotions fully, planting the seeds of achievement deep within my subconscious. My subconscious began to orchestrate circumstances, attract opportunities, and guide me toward my aim. Adversity became a teacher. Hill wrote, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Each difficulty revealed lessons, strengthened my resolve, and pointed me toward new possibilities. Struggle is not punishment, it is preparation, refining skill, character, and judgment. Enthusiasm energized my every action. Hill stated, "Enthusiasm is the sparkle in the eyes, the zest in action, the magnetism that draws others to your cause." I engaged fully in my endeavors, inspiring cooperation and attracting allies. Energy is contagious. Enthusiasm transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. I practiced accurate thinking. Hill wrote, "Think accurately and you will act wisely. Think inaccurately and you will act foolishly." I verified facts, questioned assumptions, and aligned every decision with reality. Clear thought produces effective action. Muddled thinking leads to failure. Action became the measure of intelligence. Hill emphasized, action is the real measure of intelligence. Knowledge, ideas, and desire mean nothing without movement. I acted decisively, consistently, and intelligently, building momentum that transformed effort into results. I learned to recognize opportunity. Hill wrote, "Opportunity often comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat." I trained myself to see potential where others saw obstacles, to act decisively when circumstances offered advantage. Every difficulty concealed a doorway to progress. The law of compensation rewarded my effort. Hill stated, "The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does." Excellence, contribution, and value creation attract returns beyond expectation. True success comes from giving, not entitlement. I confronted fear deliberately. Hill wrote, "Fear is nothing more than a state of mind." Fear paralyzes, doubt undermines, and procrastination delays. By acting in spite of fear, I transformed it into a guide, a motivator, and a catalyst for growth. I cultivated a positive mental attitude. Hill emphasized, "Keep your mind open only to constructive ideas." Optimism is not naive, it is practical. Attitude shapes perception, perception shapes action, and action shapes destiny. As I progressed, I realized that mastery over self is mastery over circumstance. Hill wrote, "You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be." Desire, faith, imagination, persistence, self-discipline, and action were no longer abstract concepts. They had become the engine of my life, the blueprint of my success, and the manifestation of thought into reality. With a foundation firmly established, I understood that the principles of success are not suggestions, they are laws. Hill wrote, "There is a law which governs all progress and all achievement, and that law is exact, scientific, and as absolute as the law of gravity. Applying these principles consistently produces predictable outcomes. Success is deliberate, measurable, and replicable." I refined my definite chief aim continually. Hill emphasized, "A person without a definite aim is like a ship without a rudder." Every thought, every choice, every action aligned with my purpose. Clarity eliminated wasted effort, focused energy, and magnified results. My aim was no longer abstract. It was a living force driving every step I took. Faith continued to guide me. Hill wrote, "Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When mixed with thought, it translates desire into its physical equivalent." Certainty, not hope, propelled my actions. Faith converted intention into execution, doubt into determination, and aspiration into achievement. Persistence was tested repeatedly. Hill stated, "Most great people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure." Every challenge became a proving ground. I understood that breakthrough often arrives after the point where ordinary men surrender. Persistence multiplies all effort and bridges the gap between desire and fulfillment. I applied knowledge strategically. Hill wrote, "Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when organized into definite plans of action." I acted immediately on what I learned, transforming theory into practice, insight into measurable results. Knowledge unacted upon is sterile. Knowledge applied produces results beyond expectation. The mastermind principle amplified every effort. Hill emphasized, no individual may have great power without availing themselves of the mastermind. I collaborated with visionaries, sharing insight, experience, and energy. Together, we created synergy, achieving results impossible alone. Collective intelligence multiplies effort, producing exponential results. Imagination continued to be my creative engine. Hill wrote, "Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes." I anticipated trends, explored unconventional solutions, and transformed obstacles into opportunity. Imagination is the seedbed of achievement, where innovation is born and progress ignited. Adversity remained a teacher. Hill stated, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." I analyzed setbacks, extracted lessons, and applied them immediately. Difficulty refines skill, strengthens character, and reveals hidden paths to success. Self-discipline anchored my actions. Hill wrote, "Control your mind and you control your destiny." I acted in alignment with purpose, resisted temptation, and remained focused. Discipline is the framework allowing desire, imagination, and action to produce results. The subconscious mind guided circumstances. Hill emphasized, through the aid of your subconscious mind, you may voluntarily plan in your mind a dominating desire which will bring you everything you desire. Visualization, affirmation, and emotional engagement programmed my subconscious to orchestrate outcomes, opportunities, and guidance aligned with my aim. Enthusiasm drew cooperation. Hill wrote, "Enthusiasm is the sparkle in the eyes, the zest in action, the magnetism that draws others to your cause." I inspired others, attracted allies, and generated momentum. Enthusiasm transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary influence. I practiced accurate thinking. Hill emphasized, "Think accurately and you will act wisely." Decisions grounded in reality reduce wasted effort, minimize error, and produce consistent results. Clarity of thought produces clarity of action. Action remained the measure of intelligence. Hill stated, "Action is the real measure of intelligence." I moved decisively and consistently, building momentum that transformed effort into tangible results. Opportunity became visible in all circumstances. Hill wrote, "Opportunity often comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat." I trained myself to see value in every event, to extract advantage from challenge, and to act decisively when chance appeared. Every obstacle became a stepping stone. The law of compensation rewarded my contribution. Hill emphasized, "The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does." Excellence, service, and value creation multiplied returns beyond expectation. True success grows from contribution, not entitlement. Fear became a tool. Hill wrote, "Fear is nothing more than a state of mind." By acting in spite of fear, I transformed hesitation into decisiveness, doubt into belief, and limitation into freedom. Positive mental attitude governed perception. Hill emphasized, "Keep your mind open only to constructive ideas." Optimism is practical. Attitude shapes thought, thought shapes action, and action shapes destiny. I realized that mastery of self is mastery over circumstance. Hill wrote, "You are the master of your destiny." Every principle applied, desire, faith, persistence, imagination, accurate thought, discipline, mastermind alliances, enthusiasm, adversity, and action, created a compound effect, producing unstoppable momentum toward my definite chief aim. Success is deliberate. Hill emphasized, "Success comes to those who become success conscious." Every thought, every action, every moment carried intention. By applying these timeless principles with discipline and purpose, vision becomes reality, desire becomes achievement, and thought transforms into lasting power. The journey is ongoing, but the foundation is unshakable. Hill wrote, Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Through unwavering application of these principles, destiny becomes mastery and dreams are transformed into reality.